Good
man,
job.
pretty smooth, huh?
Round of applause for Mike. All right, we'll bring the meeting to order, whatever time it says. And it says road report. Start with Rodney.
Well, was working on the sand, trying to get it from over there over here, trying to find trucks to take care of the situation. I think I'm gonna have the trucks, just can't have them just yet.
Mhm.
This and that, and so we are working on that, and yes, we're starting to run short on time, but I think we'll be all right.
Are you like halfway now or something, or
Probably not quite.
Yeah.
And
is a new town truck within sight?
it's so close, you can almost taste it.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be here like last Friday. And everything showed up just yet. That's how close it is. And hopefully by the end of this week. It'll be here. Trying to avoid putting any tires underneath that truck. But I may have to do something about a couple of steering tires because it's right down to the no show. So I don't know. I'm working
Well,
on
those are probably 10 plies, so you gotta count those too.
So which truck are you talking about, the old truck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the agreement was that it would have inspectable tires when it left.
Oh,
No, we'll tell them to wait 6 months, we'll do it. They've
And
been
so,
waiting long enough.
I don't know what we're gonna do about tires or just take a little loss and not worry about them.
Right,
And speaking of tires, I'm trying to get my winter supply of tires, which I think we've got. I think we're gonna be all right this year. I don't think that we're gonna be wondering what we're gonna buy for a tire. I think this year it's all working out for us.
good. Same price as last year.
They've gone up $75 a piece. but,
Hmm. How many do you need?
Nothing to
16
worry
or
about.
18 or
And
20?
I in hopes that the new truck has tires under it that are usable
Yeah,
for winter. I know the front tires won't be because they're steering tires, but so we will have to buy 2 tires for the front of it. But I'm hoping that Larry can get along with the back tires, but the argument's always been bad tires don't keep truck on the road, and brand new truck want to keep it on the road best we can. So we may not be able to, may have to switch them, but we'll cross that when we see the tires that are under it. And I was wondering about maybe because we've been pretty darn busy, and I was wondering about maybe George Algo's just finishing up these couple of culverts that we need to get done for FEMA.
where are they?
There's one on Potash, 2 on Belknap, and 1 on Foundry.
And George has been doing a good job for
He's
it.
been doing a good job. I'd like to, if one way or another, we'd either wait until next year or something to get them done. If we were doing them, but these culverts are holding up, sending these roads off to the done shop. So wanna know how you feel about that.
All right, with me. If you're happy,
Well, I just need to get them done so I can tell the road can be handed in and we can get our money back for the situation.
Have you spoken to George and he has time?
I haven't. But I figured I would just run it by you folks before I prime him up to do something anytime.
You okay with that, John?
yeah, I am.
Okay. I
I
guess
mean,
you'd have to
before
go.
winter,
Green light.
do we have money to pay them upfront? Because FEMA won't pay us.
Yeah, we,
For a while.
our, whatever that contracted, we just started on the 1st of July on our budget, of course, and we still have a
Okay.
ton of money left in the contracted. Well, according to the last paper I saw.
Sounds good.
We're trying not to break the bank, but these FEMA jobs are a little expensive once in a while.
And we never know when we're gonna get reimbursed either,
Yeah. Maybe a year probably.
so.
And the backhoe is broke until we get that new piston for the back of it.
Oh, that gave up.
It never really did anything but get worse, but it stopped leaking because we welded the crack.
Mhm.
But all the piping goes down through that rod. And so of course we weren't able to weld on the inside. And the oil just passes by instead of where it belongs. I checked it sort of yesterday. Because put the air to one hose and the air comes out the other hose, you know, it's bypassing instead of stopping.
And what was that, a couple $1,000?
I'm gonna buy just the rod, cause the cylinder looks just fine, I don't see anything wrong with it, but that's $1,800.
Oh.
And a new cylinder is $2,750.
Mhm.
It's actually gone up $150 in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And I guess that's steel prices.
Just because it can.
Yeah,
Which is, it's not spurting blood anymore, it just has internal bleeding.
Yes.
and the new bridge. Seems to be on schedule and, as far as I know, 30th, we'll be shutting the road down and starting to do the dig.
Mhm.
We were debating on whether to have it drilled. But it's another like $5,000 to drill and see if we got rock. I mean, ledge and this and that, and Matt and I both sort of felt that 2 days in advance is not enough to worry about, and so why spend that money?
Mhm.
And one way or another, hammer a bridge in there, I guess. So that's we're kind of thinking we'd drop the drilling up here.
Probably most important is to make sure the bridge company is on schedule. And
Well,
their crews.
Matt is in charge of that.
Okay,
And I gave him the phone number yesterday and this and that for him to take over making sure the bridge shows up when he's the contractor of the job, so I letting him make sure that the bridge shows up when he's supposed to. I sort of felt that was the right thing to do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And as far as reporting anything, I guess I don't have much more to tell you about because of the.
What are you doing about widening the road?
Oh, yeah, I didn't have it on my list, silly. Hopefully Matt's gonna get started on that next week.
How are you gonna handle that? You gonna try paving it this fall?
If we can find somebody to pave, we're gonna try to pave it. But I will tell you this much, apparently paving people don't like talking to nobody this time of year, cause you can't get one paver to call you back.
Well, this isn't the time of year to pick up new jobs.
Oh, I know
I
that.
think they're trying to finish.
But
I think they're trying to
They're
finish.
Probably in all the rain we had this summer, they're
Right.
probably weeks behind.
And Chris Bump keeps trying to help, but he don't get very far at doing all of that.
Mhm.
And so.
Not to interrupt, there's a note in your packet from the Gabriels discussing that land a little bit. I reached out to VLCT about that, and the attorneys at VLCT said if we're gonna be getting a portion of their property, and it's not necessarily going to be an easement because we're going to be taking it and paving it, it might be better to have it deeded off. So I'm gonna reach out to Tavian about seeing if he would deed over that property and write the deed and do all of that. But then we also might have to look into getting a survey for the portion of the property. So I'm researching all of that, but just wanted to fill you in on that part of it.
Mariah, isn't it moving a right of way though, and wouldn't that be different?
It is, but it's not technically, it's outside of our right of way. That's why we were gonna be needing the easement, because it's not completely our right of way. Part of it's on their property.
Right,
So
but
Yeah,
when,
there's-
when you move right of ways, you don't usually buy the land you move it to.
there's, on the table right there in front of you, there is like a thick packet and there's some pages highlighted that talks about if you take a portion of property from a landowner in order to move a right of way or a highway, they, kind of just the process of what needs to be done, like as far as, warning, changing the right of way. It's not just as simple as saying like a handshake. It's kind of like you have to warn that you're going to be changing the road right of way and why you're doing it and scoping it out and all of that. So it's kind of a little bit bigger of a process than what I think we all hoped for.
so where's that leave Rodney?
I don't know. It's, I'm gonna call Tavian, and I might also call, Tarrant as well, since he's, you know, since he is the attorney that deals with this types of right of way and that stuff, and see what he suggests too. This is what I'm dealing with for this meeting. Somebody's on the table right now, so.
Fabian was in Spain, I don't know if he's made it home yet.
Yeah.
So if we don't blacktop, we can get around some of this?
I don't know. I don't think that that blacktopping it is the thing that makes the difference. I think the difference is that it's not temporary, that you're planning on permanently changing it and changing the whole course of the road. So I think that's where this comes into place. I think that if you were going to just temporarily move it over and move the lane over and have it say, just be a temporary easement and then move it back, that would be a different story. But because you plan on changing the whole course of the road, I think it's gonna be a little bit more time consuming.
So if we go with temporary movement and
A minute later.
try permit later,
Right,
Then that would be different, because if you're doing it temporary now, like you did on Kibling to reroute for the bridge, you know, we would just get an acknowledgement, an easement from the Gabriels, and then we could go ahead and do the whole motion of making it a right of way change eventually. But for now, if you wanted to make it temporary, we could start there.
I would say temporary, that way we can at least get something to happen
right,
this year.
and you may not be able to pave it anyways this year, so.
Right.
Plus, if it involves surveys and lawyers, right, that's.
Yeah, that's another year's problem.
Right. Yep. So you think Rodney has a go ahead to just do it?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Just for now, we'll say it's temporary,
With the
As long as-
intention of
with
making
the
it right,
intention and.
And David and
intention.
Elise are okay with that.
yeah,
And then next spring or something, we can. You know,
Mhm.
jump into the.
Well-
Making it permanent,
see how it works out too, see what it looks like.
right,
My other thought was that maybe we just buy that little corner, little section, that 10 feet of road up through there. And then it belongs to the town if all else fails.
Where'd Mariah go? I wondered if maybe she ought to talk to the Gabriels.
she's right there,
Ah, she was gone for a minute.
yeah, yanking people off the table.
And it's a persons whose lands are taken or are damaged shall be entitled to compensation, so.
Well, that's another thing, I mean, if they wanted. We can buy it off them.
Right, or just, I mean, if there's something they said, this is fine, if you wanna change it right away, and we get a certain. You know, whether it's money or whatever. there may be some sort of negotiation.
Well, I think we
maybe
can
it
jump
can-
on it right now with a temporary.
And because it's a sort of dangerous going into winter spot, it seems like you'd have
Right,
power to do that, Rodney.
it'd be awful to have one lane all winter.
Right. So I would think V-Trans would be in favor of that too,
Mhm.
just do it sooner than later.
You know, V-Trans idea to move it over.
Yeah,
All right, well, we can have Mariah talk to, just communicate with the Gabriels,
yeah,
just to tell them what we're up to. What else?
I just have something quick on the, sort of with Rodney, for radios. I think the fire department is getting ready to purchase a bunch of portable radios that are used on eBay.
Ooh.
For, there's a lot of them for eight of them. And a lot of them that are 12 of them, and I'd like to get 8 of them for ourselves, which would cost about $3,000. I can get a lot of 12 for an extra $1,500, and that would give you 4 portable radios
right.
for $1,500. They don't come with battery chargers as the one things, but those are fairly inexpensive.
Yeah.
They're a used thing. They probably had like the 6-bay chargers or whatever that they used, so they don't come with that, but they say that they have pictures of them online and they're gently used. They haven't been thrown around, beaten up too bad. So that would give you 4 portable radios.
So. You would figure out what we need for charges,
I could figure out what to get for chargers. Yeah, they're
because the radio,
30 to $40 a piece.
you know,
They're not,
that's not ridiculous. It's,
Right.
It's not necessarily the answer, but this
Yeah.
would be
right.
and it should work a lot like what would be in the truck.
Well, the portable radios are limited to, I think they're 5 watts. The mobile radios are 30 watts. So they're better than what you have now for contacting us,
Well,
but they're not as good as a truck radio.
I guess the only reason why I'm having this a little longer conversation is I wouldn't want anybody to think this is the cure.
Oh, yes, no, this is not the cure. This is a. I mean, Rodney has one mobile radio in his truck, but going forward, even when you spec out a truck, you guys get low, I mean. You have a radio,
Well, we
when you spec out any more trucks, you should have it. Or figure on buying and installing. A mobile radio in it, just because when you're looking at the price tag of a truck. And they say, oh, I need another $2,000 for a radio, that in the price of the truck, it's not enough to really
Scare you?
scare you, but when you're, trying to come up with. That just for radios, that's, just something to think about.
Well, it's, when we're sitting here talking about it's just radios.
Oh, no, it's right. Yep.
It's not always, for me anyhow, it's not, if I'm stuck on the backside over the west side, I would not be, I'm not always that happy about walking to the top of the hill.
Yep,
to get a.
Yep.
And then, but if I don't have that little portable with me, it won't do me no good.
right,
then.
yes, yep,
And it's like I walked home from down to Russell Road around midnight because there was no contact. The other 2 guys were out working with me, but I couldn't contact.
yep.
But you're talking mainly for emergencies, I mean, they wouldn't carry them every day, probably.
It's up to them if they want, I mean. Yeah, they could carry them every day to be able to do it.
Problem
There's-
with some of that is emergency arrives at any given
Yep.
moment.
Yep, and to have to run back to the town garage to grab your portable radio. You can also get vehicle mounted chargers. So that it would plug into a cigarette lighter, so you could keep it right in the truck on a charger at all times.
which they could talk to each other as well as to you.
Yeah, well, the problem is that you guys don't have your own frequency yet. We haven't got that digital part of it worked out to be able to get you guys onto our frequency, but it gives us so now that if we were to get you guys these four, we now would just have to then take the step to do the programming to change us over to digital, which I've got Radio North hopefully coming down in the next month or so to go over our repeater site and do some other work, and I was gonna talk to them about that at that point.
Well, the good thing would be that you get 4 radios for $1,500. And that would take care of the radios. When we got the truck radios squared away,
Yes,
it would take care of the radios that the backhoe needs and the
Yep.
loader needs.
and still for you to have one, cause sometimes you go around, take your truck and go driving around, and yeah, it'd be nice to be able to talk to you on that as well, so.
We should make a
You
motion.
wanna make a motion? You can do it quick.
Okay.
I'll make a motion. That we purchase radios for $1,500, 4 radios, $1,500 to the town crew,
And
Chargers.
charges.
and chargers.
And chargers, I know, yeah. Connect
Well,
with
but
Rob
they'll
and
cost
figure out,
more though, so.
those are,
Oh,
those were
plus
about,
chargers, plus the cost of chargers.
I think those were about $40 a piece for the vehicle mounted plug-in ones, 40 to 50,
So it's not bad.
yeah.
Our second one.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
All right, I
number
will,
12.
I will
Fine,
order
buddy.
them, as long as I get approval from my board on Thursday, I'll order them.
You get the 4,
But, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I don't,
Could they possibly be purchased before then, or they just, they're pretty much always out there, ready to be bought?
No, so these are, I just happened to find them on eBay, and there's a bunch of different, packages, or you can buy them one at a time, you can buy them 4 at a time, but these ones all were in a lot together, and
So they have a lot of
And if
supply.
we don't-
Yeah.
It's not
We
just
don't
like
act
glass.
on, they could
glass
disappear.
bottle.
they can, yes, I've been actually kind of surprised that they're still there, but, we looked at upgrading to the newest radios that are out there, and I didn't like them. And they were $1,500 a piece. So getting 8 for $3,000 for us was, yeah, and there's nothing wrong with the radios that we have now.
Right, yeah.
They outdo, I mean, you can actually do text messages back and forth on them, which they're, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Oh,
so the radios, yeah, the radio is well
Yeah,
above
yeah,
what we
yeah.
do.
I'm walking from Russell.
I don't think you got anything like that. Well, you're getting there.
Good. When might we have those then? Like a month? or
They're
so?
in, it would be quicker than that, they're in Rhode Island, so if our fire trustees meeting is Thursday. So I'll order them probably Thursday night or Friday, and should have them sometime next week. And I'm 99% sure I can program them themselves. I have the software to be able to do that, so I can,
I may
Get 'em
have to
right
have
to
you
you.
come over to the house program my TV.
I don't know.
Somebody just sent a whole box of stuff that needs to be changed over before the 14th.
Oh, you don't have TV?
Yeah,
No got smoke for him.
kinda, we were just looking at it tonight and, boy, it's a whole bunch of. Cause they basically want you to pay your bill online.
Oh, yeah.
so you're not aware that they stopped all deer hunting west of, the Vermont line?
I haven't stopped that.
Get some kid to hook it up for you.
Yeah,
Well, you're an IT person, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, right,
Michael
yeah,
style.
I'd look good doing that.
May have to have Mariah come over and help me.
Yeah.
And then away from that part of, the road part of it, I did just hear about we didn't get the grant for the new fire truck
Oh,
this year,
Oh,
so, I should probably sit down with you guys at some point and figure out. Yeah, try to get ideas on how to come up with the rest of the money we do.
I
have.
think it's the grant.
Well, it was through FEMA, it was an AFG grant when we were looking to get $625,000 to pay for the entire truck. But that didn't come through, so I believe we have about my calculations, which I'm not great, is about 333 after next fiscal or next year's town meeting. So we have at least half of it saved. So now just figuring out how it would work to get a loan or whatever financing, but yeah.
Mhm.
So at some point I should sit down with
Yeah.
somebody I don't know if I can get on next meeting's agenda to discuss that and
Sure. Why not?
sometime when, yeah.
Can you apply for the grant next year? Or
We
is
can put it off for another year, but I don't know, it doesn't seem like they give away, or it doesn't seem like they give away very many trucks. And
The amounts were smaller, I noticed.
the prices keep, I mean, our truck price has increased a lot in the last,
Oh,
since February when we were first quoted it, they said, they added 10% and now they're saying it's gonna be well above that, so.
You have to order them way ahead of time, probably.
Yes, and they actually just, they're no longer getting internationals, because international, I guess, is canceling orders. They're changing it to a Freightliner chassis,
You should talk to
so,
them.
Yeah, well, definitely come
so,
in next time.
yeah,
Because we gotta start our budgeting
Yep.
process at some point too. so-
Really?
yep,
Yeah,
and figure out how to do that.
I'm
Oh, yes, grab that.
I
I got a
need
road
6 of them 4-foot culverts. And I think I'm just gonna order them through Reed's.
for the Stratford Road project.
The ones that you and I talked about, they're like, they're 210s, R210. And the ones that we'll be getting are a R320. And
What's the difference?
the
in
difference
price?
is about, it's about $200 more for the double the thickness wall. And so I sort of thought, geez, we ought to go with the better culvert, because if Matt don't take them, I think I can find some homes for them, it's right in their own town here.
Yeah, back of his house.
Cause like up there, the last big culvert up Moses there,
Mhm.
that's it's still in fair shape, but it's starting to fade.
Mhm.
And this would be an upgrade from the
Right.
size it's in there, and that'd be a good spot for one instead of buying one.
Right.
So we had places we could use them if we keep them.
Well, we're buying them, right?
Well, we're buying them now, but there was question on whether they'd be, how the funds would change in the end.
But FEMA's gonna reimburse us.
Right, and so. At least I'm kind of hoping nobody says, well, if you're keeping them, you don't get.
I just don't tell them that.
But I know the contractor, but we're gonna not worry about that right now. We gotta have them, because we can't go, ain't nobody gonna let us do anything without them.
Okay,
So
Here's a question.
yeah, I've got a quick road question, looking for guidance. So I've got several class 4 roads that go through my property.
and where's your property?
Maybe off the
Tell
fourth.
us who you are.
Yeah, sorry.
Where is it?
Peter Hayden.
Oh, yeah,
We're on
yeah.
Forsyth Road.
I talked to you on the phone, but never met you.
We talked on the phone about the quarry.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, there are several class 4 roads that run through my property. I've always done a variety of maintenance on them over the years. Big stuff I've talked to Rodney about, but there hasn't been a lot of that. Some number of meetings ago, I think you guys put in place a permission slip kind of thing for a class. So I want to find out what I should do.
Well, if I understood you right.
Yeah.
You wanted to cut brush. And I don't really think we need to file giant papers.
Worry
to
about
cut
that.
brush.
Yeah. So it's most of it's cutting brush. That seems pretty simple. Sometimes grading, sometimes cleaning out ditches, sometimes raking. What I ideally like is to get some sort of, open permission to do it. But whatever you guys,
I
You
feel
guys want-
that if you
I
don't
guess-
change doesn't change anything on the road,
Mhm.
he's just doing regular maintenance, I don't see where he needs to get a
And you
permission
can
slip.
just get a hold of Rodney
Right.
and tell him what you want to do, and if he thinks. you're
If there's a
doing
change, it
something-
needs to be a paper, I'll be
Right.
happy to tell you.
Yeah, okay.
But
yeah, I mean, if it's construction. What I would consider construction, like, I'm gonna put in a new culvert or something like
Right.
that, I would definitely talk to you and have in the past.
Yeah.
Okay, so just
Yeah.
go ahead, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, especially.
You two just talk.
Right.
Yeah,
Well-
I'm more than happy to come up and see what you want.
Yeah, we could do that. I guess it's something that it's ongoing, and if you want me to call you every time, I'm happy to do that. If it's my stuff, I'm
Once
guessing.
we have a chat up there, and you show me what you want, I bet you don't have to call me.
We'll set up a time to do that.
Yep, just look at Rodney,
Excellent.
Yeah.
That was easy.
yeah,
What class 4 road?
Forsyth. Welch Road, which goes off of Brocklebank. Quarry Road.
Yeah.
And the tail end of Brocklebank where it turns into class 4. Just before it goes across the town line into Stratford.
What's the road that goes down through Braley's old place?
you don't know what.
That's Brocklebank. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
That's
It's next
Brocklebank.
over to Taylor Valley Road.
It goes into Taylor.
It's a little
Valley Road.
scary
Exactly.
the last time I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of rows are barely
Barely
Not
walkable,
passable.
they're not-
barely walkable, exactly. Yeah, that one in particular.
Yeah,
is-
yeah, I was scared in the Jeep.
And Welch goes where?
Welch Road goes nowhere,
Oh.
dead end. There used to be a camp up there, but there isn't anymore. And Forsyth Road that we live on past our house, it's. Me get through it in a mud truck or an ATV, but it's.
That turns
it's
into
pretty rough.
Stratford right off quick
It-
there.
That goes into, it crosses into Stratford and then it goes to Taylor Valley Road as well.
Once it crosses there, it's up to them.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, but that brings up that email about Momsen Road.
Mhm.
That Rodney might have
Oh,
some
yeah.
thoughts. I never even heard of Momsen Road.
Isn't it in Randolph, isn't?
No, it's in Tunbridge.
No.
I mean, it's Angel
No,
runs
it's-
into it.
From Peter Button's old, Peter
Peter
Flint's
Flint,
old
yeah.
old farm.
Right.
Goes by his barn down in the Angel Road.
Turns it, is it Momsen Road in Tunbridge? or
Yeah, it
Angel
is
Road?
actually.
Really?
Yeah.
All the way through there, to Tunbridge?
Well, there's just a really short stretch between the East Randolph Road
Right,
that it's in, what is it, Chelsea or Brookfield or whatever, I don't
Could be
know.
Randolph.
being Randolph.
I think it's Randolph.
Is it East Randolph?
I think it's Randolph or East Randolph. I'm the one who wrote to you about that. And the Angel Road side is in Tunbridge. The other side, I believe, is in East Randolph or, governed by Randolph, I suppose.
So that's up those barns.
Yeah,
Yeah, so the people on the Tunbridge side have blocked the class 4 road with a dumpster. And I don't think it's right. Since you're talking about that right now, I'm just telling you what I think.
Well, I think you're right, so we'll look into that.
Thank you.
First thing. So that the road goes through the driveway, there's a house and then there's another building, it kind of snakes through there and there's
Yeah.
class 4.
yes,
So if there's no dumpster in there, we could drive all the way through?
Yeah.
Really? I've never done
I
that.
know.
Well, I have in the
years,
past.
years ago.
I have in the past, but towards the last 20 years, people have been trying to wean us out of there.
By putting things in the way.
But put dumpsters.
They're trying to make us believe there's no class 4 road no more.
Yeah.
By putting a dumpster.
All right, Rodney's on it, Janet.
Thank you.
Thanks for the heads up, Janet.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right, anything more?
That's it.
All right,
Do you want to talk about the bus and Flint Bridge since everybody's here?
good.
What are we talking about?
The school
You didn't
bus,
see all your.
Oh.
You saw that, didn't you?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
And John did,
yes.
I did.
all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I there are probably more players now, Tiffany, than involved, right?
Well-
And you brought it up to the school board?
I already went to the school board because that was before I was aware of the bus company that reported it with the. I'm gonna kindly word it, people not from Vermont who made you aware of the bus going through the bridge and the bus company. And the new bus company wasn't aware of the previous agreement and permission from Butler's. And so that put a screeching halt on the whole bus route. Meanwhile, I'm like, Stratford Road's closing. How are you gonna access these 16 kids if we're not driving through the bus? So I wasn't aware until like yesterday that it had gone to you guys
So they're not
also.
running the bus anymore?
I heard it was back.
It was back over the bridge this morning, but that was not told to parents. That was coming out of my kids. Yeah, we went through it twice. Yeah, I was like, well, that's good, but I just want to hear what you have to say about the bus going through in case we ever get a new bus company and I have to take it up with them.
Well, it seems like the SU should come to us, probably, right?
People should communicate, yeah, but it seems like Mariah told me on the phone that the bus company has requested it.
They've submitted an overweight permit, which is what we allow for everybody else who's overweight to cross that. So I waited until tonight just so we could discuss it briefly, but I was gonna sign it and send it back and call it good. So if that's good with everybody else, then that's my plan.
It depends on the bridge, I guess. Like, how heavy is that bus? Do we know?
Yeah, but they run dump trucks and everything else through there.
Over Flint Bridge?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's what I
That
remember being
school bus
told the
weighs-
last time they
that
asked.
school bus weighs nothing
Compared to the
compared.
sap truck that
Yeah,
goes
I can only tell you one thing, we do not run over that.
Yeah, I didn't think you did.
Makes life miserable, but we do not.
Does the one
You
ton go
you
over
can
it,
see
Ron?
the pit when you dump down there
Yes.
and you can't go there.
I've seen it. But you can ask him to answer that
The one ton
question.
goes over it,
Yes,
loaded?
well, I don't know how else.
No,
you can
never.
get there. I don't know why it needs. to
Loaded
go
with
there.
gold loading.
Yeah. Well, it's-
It's, I don't know what kind of act it would take to get the, cause I know nobody wants to take responsibility, but, I don't know what kind of act it would take to lift it from, 3 ton to at least 6, 8 ton.
You mean to change the minimum
Right.
of the, yeah, I do wonder what that would be, cause
Cause
it's a very rugged bridge.
the guy that used to inspect it, which was Bob Charles's brother. He said it was,
Carl?
David?
I don't know.
Carl.
Carl.
Carl,
He's the engineer.
he's an engineer.
He supposedly said that, it's a joke at 3 ton.
David said the milk truck used to run up through there.
A lot of rigs used to go through there. I mean, when I first started working for town, we ran dump trucks through there, but. I one day decided that you ain't gonna do that no more, fellas. If it happens to have a problem, it ain't gonna be because of us.
Right.
Is that the statewide limit for all covered bridges, historic covered bridges?
No,
No.
They all vary?
All of our others have 6 and 8 ton.
Oh, weird.
it's just some engineer just said, put 3 ton on it that day.
We
Yeah.
can email the gentleman back who
Mhm.
was the national covered bridges person who originally emailed everybody and got the bus off it to see what the status is or how you go about changing it. I don't mind calling him.
I could reach out to V-Trans as well and see, I think it is. I don't think it's that hard to get it changed, so I'll reach out and see what I can find.
We should stay within the local and
Yeah,
people who actually have authority
yeah.
versus people who don't have authority.
I just found it funny.
Keep looking.
So anyway, it sounds like the bus can go through there officially now, and once Mariah sends that permit back and signs it, whatever, and so you should be all set.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And what's the reasoning behind not using buses that are more for the size of what we have for kids?
If that was my next door knocking, if you guys had said, well, no, we don't want the bus on there. I was going to tell them that the bus company needed to provide us a smaller bus.
When they called
them.
me, I told them, you can save headache by putting a smaller bus up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
All the way around it'd be better, cause it's easier to get around on slippery door and the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
It just makes sense that the small bus would be traveling instead of these giant buses.
My fear was the headache you were gonna have of trying to keep that hill perfect for him to turn around and then to go back up it.
Well, that would be a problem because, it takes, like I tell everybody here, that it's a 4-hour turnaround. When we've been there, you won't see us again
Yeah.
for 4 hours if we don't get stuck.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's why we were saying, when it comes to electric trucks, you guys are gonna need to buy us about 16 of them. Or to get a storm done.
Or a long extension cord.
Or Chelsea Fair.
I was gonna say it's not going, I don't hear it.
Oh, yeah, that's what I got.
All right, I guess you can leave now.
And when you get around to it, just call down to the garage there and,
We've got one more meeting before Tuttle.
you,
Yep.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Sign
Oh, yeah.
You wanna come out
I
tomorrow?
will, I'll grab that, thank you.
all in the
Same
left.
time,
Okay.
7 in the morning?
7 in the morning.
No, it's not like that. No, I
I'll be up.
don't. Let's see here, I got somebody at 8 o'clock.
Just text him when you're ready.
Yeah.
I
How long you think
won't
it'll
work.
be?
No, it won't.
All depends on what you wanna see.
Well, I think we,
Half an hour, hour at the most.
yeah, why don't I, we'll shoot for 7 tomorrow morning, and get it over with.
You texting Rodney?
No,
Oh.
Good, they ain't have a phone.
Meanwhile, waiting.
So come out to the house.
I'm one of those people who
Sure.
I'll just show up at his house.
You're at the camp, what used to be camp out there,
Long time ago, yeah.
but I know where it is.
It's all.
Alright.
Yeah.
No
Furnace
problem.
down, 4-7.
Stop when you get
Thanks.
distracted.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rodney.
Let's see, next. How about, since Dave Kimball's here, you probably want to talk about rescue squad. You don't have long to take. So would you like to go next?
Sure.
All right, step right up here. All right, if you want to do it. I'm gonna change the schedule.
Like that.
I just did.
Oh.
Yeah.
So John Durkee has agreed to join the South Royalton Rescue Board, replacing Brenda. And so Brenda stepped down earlier this year, so we'd like to have you guys appoint John. How's that for fast?
That's fast.
Yeah,
Make the motion, we appoint John Durkey to the South Royal Rescue Squad Advisory Board.
and with the term ending April 30th, 2026.
2026.
3-year terms.
With a term ending April 2026.
I second that.
All right, all in favor of John Durkey being appointed, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Get that, Mariah?
Mariah's gone.
I got it. I got a little crazy thing trying to touch the keyboard. Look at this.
All right,
Okay,
that's
good.
it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you,
Good
Dave.
night.
See, that was painless.
You.
Check, mark.
The painless one.
Yep. All right, legal trails, class 4 road discussion. You want me to start?
What was the
Yeah,
Okay.
scope of this?
The scope of it was, when we were talking with our lawyer in the executive session, one of the
Oh,
not angles, but one of the, what would it be? Not a solution to our problem, but one of the things we could do,
An option.
option, that's a good word, is turn a legal trail into a class 4 road, and then we would have the authority then to either maintain it or not maintain it. And I wondered if we wanted to talk more about that.
don't say too much about us maintaining it, but him sitting there.
I'm a good example of the wide range of interpretation for maintaining.
Well, I think we ought to investigate that. Did Mariah look up what we had to do?
I think she,
Yep, I did, and it's the same thing that's highlighted in that packet about changing that right away. It's a similar process. We would have to warn that we were going to be updating the roadway from a trail to a class 4. It would have to be posted for so many days, and then we would have to hear from townspeople if they wanted to discuss that. And then if we decided to go ahead and do it, it would obviously be recorded in the land records and all of that, but then there would be an ability for people to grieve that status change, and it could eventually end up going to Supreme Court and that type of thing if somebody didn't like our decision. Tarrant, also in your packets, there's an email from Mike Tarrant, basically laying out exactly what I just said, but it's more legal terms and the steps, but it's in your packet.
So Mariah, can anybody sue over a designation change like that?
It's not necessarily like a lawsuit per se. It's more just like arguing the change, but yes, it could be anybody. I don't think it has to just be a landowner. From what I understood. Again, I'm not an attorney, so.
Not yet.
now if we decided to do that and we went through the proper process, can we just go through the proper process and then if somebody doesn't like it, then they appeal it?
Right,
Then-
yeah, so I think it would become a class 4 road and then the appeal process would start.
Doesn't have to go to a vote to the town.
No, I think that we
You have the authority. to do
we
it.
have the authority. I mean, we can take public input and we,
Great solution.
and my opinion is if there was a, if we suggested that and we started the process. And then it was a huge public outcry, there's 500 people came to a meeting and said, we don't want it, then we probably wouldn't do it.
Does it materially change the town's obligations in terms of maintenance?
It does.
Yeah, very little.
Yeah,
I mean, it's still your discretion.
the state encourages us not to do minimal work on class 4 roads.
Right.
And that's,
Mostly water stuff.
Yeah,
yeah,
culvert or a ditch or water bar. or something
erosion
like
type
that.
thing, yeah.
Can you restrict motorized vehicles if you go class 4?
Mhm.
Or does it have to be upgraded so that it would,
Well, certain times of year, because like on Fry Road, Kevin, what's his name that lives up there?
Rose.
Kevin Rose said there were too many people during mud season creating a problem, so doesn't he put up a sawhorse or something so people can't get through there in mud season? I thought we gave him the authority to do that,
I think we posted it too. but-
right? And there again for erosion purposes, because you don't want the road washing out. You got that all read over, so you know
No,
what Terrence says?
no,
Oh,
you wanna read it?
not right now.
Okay,
I'm a slow reader. So do you want to talk any more about it, or just, do you want to kind of,
I think next
Proceed.
meeting, we should like read over this, next meeting,
okay,
go over if we are gonna change, potentially change some legal trails or pieces of legal trails, you know, to look at all 4 and say, I mean, we might have the Trails Committee weigh in on this too.
Mhm.
And see if they would consider it a recommendation.
okay, so we can invite Jonathan.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Okay, well, good enough for me. So Mariah, can you invite Jonathan or the Trails Committee to our next meeting?
Yeah, and I can also email Jonathan. I know he can't come, but I can email him your questions and I could get a response back from him to have submitted to you.
Yeah, just give him information,
Yep.
what we're up to.
Yep,
we'd like his input.
So that's still in October, right?
Yeah,
His soccer season's not over until the beginning of November.
yeah. It must be the 20, late in the 20s, the last
Yeah,
meeting.
Playoffs and stuff.
Okay.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
can I, Mariah?
Oh, Todd Tyson, yes, I can hear you. You
Oh,
don't have to
okay.
say that.
I'm in the middle of wrapping up a radio show. A couple questions and a comment. I might have missed this part. So class 4, I believe the designation, if you go to class 4, is it does need to be maintained or at least be drivable by a vehicle 3 months out of the year. So yes, there's a lot of discretionary or non-maintenance involved, and keep that in mind. And then my question would be, if you were to consider, and I'm not necessarily opposed to changing to class 4, maybe a couple questions for the attorney, would be, one, does that basically cut the knees off of the lawsuit, the third lawsuit that may be arguing about maintenance, because it's pretty clear in the statute what the rights of the select board are regarding maintenance? And also, what happens in the intervening time towards the use of the legal trails? They really haven't been able to be used again for this entire season.
Okay, thank you, Todd.
Thank you.
Any more questions, comments?
I think, at least in practice, there's little to no maintenance on class 4 roads where they don't service a house.
Yeah.
Because the section through my property where they don't service a house are the ones that are cow paths, basically.
Yeah, and the one that goes up by my house. I mean,
So there's precedence for not all of them being passable,
Yes,
if nobody's got anywhere to go.
yeah. And for instance, that guy came in from the west side of town
that was
last spring. No, it was a different guy.
Oh.
And even though it was a class 4 road, he said there's culvert issues and there's water issues.
Oh,
because
the
of
kid that lives up on top of the hill.
Yeah, and so we said, yeah, we'll replace 2 culverts or 3, I can't remember which.
Two, I think.
Because we don't want the road to wash out and cost us more money in the end.
Or Stonehouse Road.
Yeah, Yeah.
something like that. And then Mary White, there was somebody who lived there, right, who maybe they had a child with a disability or something.
years ago, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so we make exceptions, but we try to keep it to a minimum.
But I think state statute is much clearer on
Well, certain,
what our obligation is to maintenance.
Yeah.
and what your right is as well.
The 4-wheel drive people who were just here will love it.
Do you know if they got went much around town here? Because there was a whole bunch of,
Fair amount of them
I
went
met
through
him.
Sherry said a whole
They're on my
bunch
road,
went
yeah.
through.
Fry,
2
Taylor.
2
Yeah, we had
weeks
several packs come through.
yeah. Did it go by your house?
Yep.
Over in
They drove over
Stratford?
that
Really?
bridge, that
Yeah, they come,
culvert that's not
people
there.
come through fairly often. But
Yeah.
But always, always respectful and it's light traffic, we have no problem with it.
I was wondering, I don't know what their policy is, but I wouldn't think municipalities would be very excited if like class 4 roads on a wet year, were all turned into ruts.
Yeah.
That we had to do further maintenance of, so. Yeah, I mean, glad to hear they were respectful.
Yeah, the only issue is, like I say, if it's wet, then they really start tearing stuff up, but right now the traffic is light enough that it's not a problem.
Just so you know, some of the towns closed their class 4 before this event
Oh, really?
because they thought they were damp and they didn't want them
I don't see why we couldn't do that.
destroyed. So if they did, then that's something to keep in mind. You
Oh,
still,
that's interesting.
Well, if I want mine closed all summer.
Ask the select board.
it's called a slide.
All right, we can move on to something else.
Might be, do you know who they are? Yeah, like, is it a club or organization?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
We
is.
were having somebody even on Zoom.
The Overlanders, I believe they call themselves.
That's the event.
Yeah, and Derek Chase or Chavin is in charge of this particular section of it. They come from all over.
Right.
If you
yeah.
notice the license plates for,
Mhm.
and they were basically respectful.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they weren't looking for some mud.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
and it-
usually happens down in Taylor Valley Road. They can make a real mess down there.
Yeah,
Historically, it's been a problem down there.
they volume. I mean, there was, I don't know how many were down there at Henderson's Highway, but there
That
were
was
quite a few.
ton, Yeah.
Yeah.
boy. It'd be nice to have them come in and just describe
Yeah, well, sort of like the bike riders do.
exactly.
This is
yeah,
what we're
just
doing.
Like the ranger.
Yeah.
For everybody. Mariah, you
I
hear that?
spoke to the Royal Select.
No, sorry, what was that?
More than happy to come and talk.
Did you have something for Mariah?
No, just if some point between now and next year's event,
Oh, yeah,
somebody representing them could come in and just.
Yeah.
Describe,
is it a yearly thing then?
I think it's an annual thing, right?
Yeah, it's an annual thing. I didn't get the name of the guy who organizes this one and send it to you, Mariah.
I didn't even realize it was an organized thing.
Yeah,
I think this is just the second year that they used to do it down south, somewhere further south in the state and moved up to Henderson's, I
Okay,
think last year.
they got restricted in one
And
town.
The event overlapped with the trail ride last year.
oh,
And
Oh, right.
they ended up
Didn't you-
notifying both him and Karen Blow, and they
Oh.
communicated. And
oh, with her horse
and
riding,
worked some stuff out with both of their organizations
okay,
ahead of time.
right. Yeah, we should have a calendar of events. like
Yeah.
That too, so they're not running into each other.
All
Yeah,
right,
you could get Mariah that. info.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, it's a good heads up to check the condition of the roads and see if it's gonna be.
right, yeah.
Road stewards could do that.
Yeah.
Rodney's our road steward.
Yeah.
All right, any more conversation about legal trails or class 4 roads or?
Well, and report was that, what was that, yesterday, 2 days ago? I spent 3 hours with VAST members working on a bypass, whichever it is.
Yeah.
I think we found somewhere
Oh,
Oh,
good,
cool.
through
you're gonna come down to
adjoining
Bucky's and-
properties. Yeah, Bucky already has a trail, so it'd be, must be Miller's, our place, Charity, McNabb's, and Vinnie Emerson,
Oh, okay,
so. Everybody seemed excited about the
Mhm.
possibility.
Good.
Keep it posted.
all right, next is liquor license approval. Mariah has, maybe Devin, I don't know. Davis has that information.
Yep. Yes, Davis has the liquor license for you. Want to show him?
His division,
Show him right here. In this, there you go.
Who's
So
it for?
this liquor license is for Brocklebank Brewing, and they are having a small event at their brewery on Brocklebank, October 21st. That's Fall Fun Fest, live music and food truck, beer in the tap room and roped off area in the parking lot.
You know where that is, Brenda?
Yes, I do, actually.
that's right. Go down Momsen Road. and you get
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah,
Behind the dumpster.
Free passes. Brenda,
You want a free pass?
does the select board get free passes?
Yeah, I'll get you a free pass.
Okay,
I think it's a good idea.
James will get it for you.
okay.
You think it's a good idea?
I second the good idea.
All right, you third it, John?
I do.
All right, I think it's a good idea. I like a good beer now and again.
Good beer. They make good beer.
Yep. All right, we moved on to other business. If you can believe that.
We've covered.
Does anyone have any other business?
I guess I had one little thing.
Okay, Janet,
So I sent you all an email about the my nephew who went to the transfer station and was turned away because the guy found a piece of Chelsea mail.
Make a share straight.
Hi. And so I just kind of wanted to be sure you got that message and that our transfer station attendants understand that there are at least 150 people who live in Tunbridge that have addresses outside of Tunbridge. I mean, there's at least 140 landowners, and I can't tell you how many renters. And so my nephew was turned away from using the dump ticket that already had pieces taken from it because of seeing this piece of Chelsea mail. So just wanted to be sure you got that message and that you've passed it
Yeah.
on to a transfer guy or
Yeah.
people. I don't know who's over there now.
Mike is most of the time and Rod is part of the time.
Uh-huh.
We're still looking.
Yeah, we're still looking, Janet, in case you're.
Oh, you're
not
still
busy.
looking. Okay.
In case you're not busy Saturdays and Wednesdays.
Yeah, sorry.
You are busy?
Yeah, sorry, gonna have to pass.
What's your address, Mike? East Bethel?
Randolph Center.
It is. He's one of those people.
Yep.
Right, there's many people and it wasn't
remember
a
it's an
friendly
East
exchange.
Over the bank?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's okay then.
It's cheaper.
All that Tunbridge address now.
Yeah, oh my Tunbridge mail, I throw over in East Bethel.
So thank you for your attention to that matter. I appreciate it.
It's a good point. 152. I didn't realize it was that many.
I didn't either.
Well, at least, so I counted 140 on the grand list. And I rounded up to 150 because there has to be at least 10 people who are renting and
Right.
don't have Tunbridge addresses. I mean, at least, right? So,
About 10%. Yeah.
On my side of the hill,
Right.
that whole strip would be Randolph Center.
Yeah.
yeah, there's quite a few. Oh, anyway, thanks.
Any other
What
business?
was, Janet, you had one other thing. What were we, there was something with the town hall, wasn't it? Oh, the humidifier.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Please, please, please.
Good memory,
Any
John.
chance you could get a new humidifier for the Tunbridge Town Hall? That thing is so loud. And I can't say, I never really looked to see what it's doing, but I don't know how effective it is. I do know that it is potentially outdated and very loud.
You have any idea what one would cost?
I have not looked into it at all. I know little to nothing about humidifiers, and I assume that that one is one that is pumped out directly. I don't
Yeah.
think anybody is emptying it. I mean, I would think maybe somebody like Mike Howe might be a good person to ask about that because
Mike or Judy?
he's right, Mike and Judy. They could potentially answer that, you know, be more informed about that. Yeah. I mean, I
Okay.
could look it up, but I don't know enough about it to really give a good recommendation.
Maybe
Except
Mariah
that-
could look into the price of she could get the capacity of the thing.
With
and-
that square footage.
Right.
Yeah.
Mariah could look up the price on eBay or something like that.
Sounds great.
Right, thank you, Janet, because we don't think of those things.
Ah, well, thank you. It's been really fun to be working in the town hall. I hope you all have had a chance or take a chance to see the new green room. I'm very excited about it.
We'll stop by someday. When,
All right.
Janet, when do the
Shindig
shindig start up?
Yeah,
November?
yeah. So first Saturdays, November to April, and then January's is on New Year's Eve, and they're all fully booked. So yeah.
Who
Gonna
was
be fun.
November?
November is a band called Something Reckless, and it's Devon Noise out of South Royalton, pretty popular band. They play like old time rock and roll, little country thrown in there, you know, they're all about dancing. So fun times.
John will be there clogging.
That's right. I'll bring my tap shoes.
Yeah.
All right, bring it on.
Sounds good.
All right, any other business? If not,
I have a couple things. I just wanted
Okay.
to. So one of the things is that our sidewalk scoping study that we have, Rita from Two Rivers reached out to me and said that the, there's a delay in funding for this project from the state. So they're not gonna be able to reimburse us until that expenditure issue is resolved. Just because of the flooding and stuff. It is obviously like allocated and promised to us, so we will eventually get payment for it. But they didn't know what we wanted to do in the meantime. Did we want to continue moving forward? It's about $4,500 a month that we're paying out right now. And you know, obviously eventually that will end up getting reimbursed. I talked to Marianne and Becky about it. Becky says that we have more than like enough, because that was ARPA money and stuff set aside. So hold on. Okay. So we have more than enough set out to have the project continue and then just get back reimbursed later on. And Marianne kind of said she would like it to continue on just because we've already started the process. It might not be easy to stop and pick back up 6 months from now. Like we're already got the ball rolling. We might as well continue. So I just wanted to double check with you what you wanted to do in the meantime, if that was fine, if we continued until we eventually got reimbursement.
How much money are you talking about?
$4,500 a month.
For how many months?
I'm not sure what it would be. The total contract is 45,000, but we were only paying 10% of that. But so in the meantime, we'd have to pay all of it until, which is the 4,500 until we got the reimbursement.
That's a lot of money for something I don't want.
Yeah, but we're not worried. You gotta worry about the town.
And this is gonna go clear over to West Tunbridge too.
Oh my God.
It's gonna be a long sidewalk.
Southie Mountain's gonna have a sidewalk.
We need one
I don't know.
when the Jeeps go through.
But potentially, it would be 4,500 a month for what, a year and a half?
I mean, yeah, until the engineer scoping study is complete. Yeah, I wasn't super sure the breakdown. Marianne might have a better idea for you. I'm just kind of reading off of an email here from what they had said. Do you want me to get some more information from Marianne and Rita and then email you guys and let you?
Just if there's a sort of light at the end of the tunnel, if they're like, oh, it's 5 months, or if they.
Right, when they think that it would happen to start reimbursement again. Okay. So that was one.
If the state's like, oh, we don't have the money, you wanna do this?
Yeah.
We'll pay you back someday.
2 years later.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
My second thing for other business was that Evan Reese reached out. He's on the Conservation Commission. They're working with the White River Partnership to do a cleanup day on the first branch in Tunbridge. They're thinking they're going to do it October 14th from 11 to 2. They just wanted to know if the town would cover the cost of any tires or metal that they pull out of the river.
Sure.
Nothing to do that.
We did it last year.
Yeah. Yes.
What I figured, but I wanted to double check. And then the last thing I have is on your table there's a policing contract between Royalton. Loretta sent that over if it was something we were interested in pursuing. She got approval from her select board and they drafted a policing contract for us. Basically just saying that they would work within the parameters of the money that we have allocated currently. So they would, you know, it would only provide us however many hours per week at their hourly rate, but that was fine. They would work within that budget for us.
Why don't we do that? Right here.
Oh, okay, so it's not in.
No,
Okay.
it's basically saying they're gonna do it, you know, the $10,000, 165 hours.
Did we actually do 10,000 this year? I thought
We budgeted 10,
Did we?
didn't we?
I thought I saw in this, we budgeted 6.
We cut it back down.
Well, we gotta double check, but
I thought it got as high as 10, so,
we had been at 10.
yeah.
We were at 10. Fair. 5,000?
I couldn't have said that. I thought it was 6, but I probably wrong. What page are you on? It says. Yes, right here, yeah.
That's not right, is it? We didn't drop it to 5, did we?
I don't know. I thought we had dropped it, but I wouldn't have said 5, but
Huh. Cause we kept telling them 10.
yeah, yeah. Oh, just a minute. Well, I
Huh.
believe in. Yeah, just,
Did we take 1,000 off for some reason, or?
Yeah, but we would have
Have it?
had to knock it in half
Yeah.
because it was 10 last year. But we didn't use 10,
yeah, we only used,
6 or something.
I
Or
think it was
if
either
that.
less than that 4,800 or something
Yeah.
like that. I don't remember.
No, I was thinking we still had,
And we only got $3,200 left right now.
I was thinking we still had,
Yeah, I was hoping we had 10. But then I remembered that. Hmm, and that's the one. Monkey
maybe
wrench.
on like Mel's. Maybe it should know.
I don't know how we get around that.
Well, we.
You don't pay the sidewalk for 1 month.
Snatch. Can we snatch some money out of somewhere else?
I'm sure we can.
$800 from the constables.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I think that would be legitimate, but I
Yeah,
just,
well, we ain't,
I worry
we ain't
about,
got no constables.
well, I just worry about
Yeah,
the people voted for
Right.
this budget
Right.
and I don't wanna go back on. And I suspect most people would say, go ahead and spend another 5,000, but.
well,
Well,
I guess we better think on that.
Well,
Number
okay.
one, we better find out
What
what
we
we
budgeted.
actually budgeted.
yeah,
What we passed with town
The
meeting.
town clerk who wrote the minutes down would know that. But she's left.
well, we only have 8 months left of this
Right,
fiscal year. So
Right.
we don't, even if we had the full 10,000 that we thought we had,
It wouldn't be that.
we wouldn't need that. Because we've already
that's true.
worked away 4 months with no.
But we've also spent
Right,
some of it.
1,700 or whatever it was.
Right,
Even though we're not under contract at Orange County.
right.
I mean, I'm in favor of this. We just gotta figure out how to pay it.
Well, let's,
We also think that. I mean, I'd like to pick up the conversation again with.
I-
You know, much bigger budget.
yeah,
And-
Yeah.
And.
I see that
regional policing.
Robert wrote in the TQ, he's wrote in Robert Childs for that,
Oh, we did?
police
the-
and
Mhm.
what do they call it?
Neighborhood policing. or whatever it
Yeah.
is, Yeah,
Maybe I'll give him a holler and
yeah.
get him worked up a little bit, and see if
Yes.
anything's going, yeah,
Now that's budgeting season, because
Right.
it's all about money.
right,
Mhm.
right,
Brenda had also heard that we were approved for the MERP grant for the buildings. So if that's the case, we might be able to scrounge up some ARPA money that we had set aside for the weatherization of our buildings and maybe find $5,000 from that if we're getting awarded the MERP grant to weatherize the buildings instead. So I could get the
Okay.
final number from her. And
I
then,
got corrected on it though. We got approved for the,
It's more of an audit, isn't it?
the audit part,
oh, okay.
yeah. Which is good. It'll set us up for trying for the next one. We might get one building done.
Okay,
Yeah,
Or go back to them and just say, we only have half.
yeah,
yeah. I mean,
Would you do it for
we can steal,
half those hours?
we can steal a constable money and say that's what we got. And
yeah,
And it's
You
just for the remaining 8 months. anyway, like I
yeah,
said.
right,
due to not paying attention.
yes. And we, over the last, I don't know how many years, we've always had a surplus of funds in our general fund, and so I'm sure the money will be there, but we just haven't voted on it.
Right, and I'm not popping out at me where we could steal it easily. You know,
Right. Oh, we tried to,
like you said, we probably will have some left over, but
Maybe Mariah could ask Loretta if they would do half the hours.
yeah. Can you do that, Mariah? All right, she says yes. Davis.
and Mariah, check and see what we actually did budget for sheriff.
Like check, you don't think 5,000's right? You want me to double check with Becky?
Double check it.
Okay.
It may
Or how we
very
got
well.
there, we may have,
We
in
just,
earlier drafts, it may have been 10 or 8, but
we just didn't remember it correctly.
I think you got there over to satisfaction.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Go what?
You were getting a bill cut down of what was happening, discouragement.
but I can't remember if,
Discouragement, Bill?
Yeah, it kept going down.
you know, we started our budget discussions and it was at 10 and we
Yeah.
knocked it to 5, or if it was on the floor, it got knocked to 5, I can't even.
I don't know. I'll get my town report out when I get home.
Yeah. Jeez, old girl.
She sat there patiently waiting for you. All right, any more discussion? So I think we've got this under control for now.
Yeah.
Mariah, bring this contract thing up again next meeting. And we'll discuss it some more. Other than that, if there's no other business, we're gonna sign away on orders. Oh,
I think I could give you a trail update that the signs from.
Oh, yeah, they look good.
And we'll put up on Sunday on Baptist, Orchard and Crossroad, but not Falls Hill.
Yeah, that's what you get when you're on the back side of the hill, you don't get your signs.
yeah,
I thought that wasn't the backside.
Well, it's not quite, but it's almost.
it's a different time zone and he ran out of time.
They look good, I thought.
I thought it was a nice job, although Mike heavily complaining that his hand was shaky.
Wow.
All right, go ahead.
Good work.
Good night.
Good
Okay. I guess you're getting done, aren't you?
Good night. Yeah, we're headed to bed now. So if you guys are all set, then I'm gonna say bye.
We're just gonna sign orders and review the minutes. and then
Okay.
meet.
Take those packets home with you and read through some of the notes from Tarrant, and there was a response from Cal Hemingway in there as well as John Echeverria, so brush up on those.
If I take this underlying thing home,
Yep, that's fine.
can you get Gary one
Yep,
so he can read it?
yep.
John?
And Tarrant basically said the same thing as what's highlighted in there in your email as well, but I can print off another one of those too.
Okay,
2 more.
2 more.
Yeah.
One
2
for
more.
John.
Heard. Okay. All right, guys, have a good night.
Good night, David.
Good
Night. Night.
He's putting the water right to him.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's got a
He'll
piece of
be up,
cucumber in it. or
he'll be up
something.
all night.
Yep.
Thank you.
Red ball.
Devin put that in there for you last.
Which house are you at then? We went
On
out there, we turned
vacation.
around and went back out. And then some guys were like, we can pass through that, and we were like, oh,
Cool.
okay,
Yeah, people come, you drive right through the.
yeah, is that
people
your
stop
house?
And they're like,
Is that your house, that yard?
yeah, right.
Yeah,
gate
that
and a
really
fancy
nice fancy place.
barn. Yeah, I don't know how fancy it is, but
Well, I called it fancy,
it's right where the road
Mhm.
bends here.
yeah. We didn't wanna
Why
go
am I
across the lawn,
doing
but then
this
we,
if Rudy is
Yeah.
here?
the road
That's
is right
stone
there.
house
Look at that
thing.
guy.
Yeah, that's Stonehouse, exactly.
yeah, we did it this summer, it was a scary moment.
It's,
Right by Swayze's.
It's
it's
It's-
right